minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
Plus 45 seconds into liftoff, and Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center, carrying our stack of 49 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit. Now, moments ago, we did throttle down the engines in preparation for max Q,
Supersonic.
and that is maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Max Q.
And there's the call out that we just passed through max Q. That is the largest structural load that the vehicle will see throughout ascent. Now coming up, we will have 3 events happening in quick succession. That'll be main engine cutoff, or what we call MECO, stage separation, and second stage engine start 1, or SES1. MECO is where all 9 of the M1D engines shut off and slow the vehicle down in preparation for stage separation. And
MVAC engine chill has started.
And that's just a call out that the engine chill on the second stage is getting ready for ignition. Stage separation is where the first stage separates from the second stage, and with first stage returning back to Earth for landing, while stage 2 continues on its journey with the third event, SES1, or second stage engine start 1. And that's where the MVAC engine ignites up and propels the second stage along with the Starlink satellites to their targeted drop-off orbit. We're just about 10 seconds or so away from those 3 events, and they will be followed by fairing deploys shortly after SES1 as well.
MECO.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC ignition.
Fairing separation confirmed.
We have got some great views, all 4 of those events that I mentioned, MECO, stage separation, SES1, and fairing deploy, all visually confirmed on your screen. Now, the fairing halves flying on today's mission are both flight proven, with one half supporting its 5th flight and the other supporting its 4th flight on today's mission. So we will be attempting to recover the halves again using our recovery vessel, Doug, to hopefully support future missions. On your left-hand screen is a view of the first stage. You can see the grid fins have deployed there. Those help guide the vehicle back to its landing zone. And on your right-hand screen is stage 2. Now, as that heads towards its targeted drop-off orbit, stage 1 will execute 2 burns in order to make its way back to Earth. The first is the entry burn, where 3 of the M1D engines will reignite, and this helps to slow the stage down as it re-enters the upper part of the Earth's atmosphere. Then the second burn is the landing burn. This is the single engine burn that brings the vehicle speed down very rapidly in order to touch down on our drone ship. Again, a shortfall of gravitas today.
Acquisition of signal, Bermuda.
And that's just a call out that we have connected with a ground station on the second stage. And as you can see on your screen, we've got some incredible views today, a daytime launch with Earth looking amazing in the background of both the first and second stage views. Now we're just under 2 minutes away from the entry burn starting up on the first stage. So for those of you who follow, we've got a nominal trajectory call out on second stage, which is great news. Now you'll notice that there is soot on some of these rockets that we reuse. And here's a quick explanation of why and how that soot forms. The rocket-grade kerosene, or RP1, used to fuel a Falcon 9 is carbon-based. So when it burns the fuel, it generates soot. Now, as the booster approaches landing, as you can see on your left-hand screen, it does a re-entry burn to slow the vehicle down prior to re-entering back into the Earth's atmosphere. Otherwise, aerodynamic forces would rip it apart. So because the entry burn occurs with the engines first, the booster flies through its own plume. And that is what deposits the soot onto the rocket. And again, we're just about a minute away from that entry burn, so you will see that live on your screen. Again, we've got some great views of our Starlink mission today. On your left-hand screen, that is the first stage booster making its way back to Earth, and on your right-hand screen is the second stage taking the satellites to their drop-off orbit.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
And there you can visually see on your left-hand screen, the entry burn has begun on that first stage. This will last about 20 seconds or so long.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
And that concludes the entry burn on the first stage. And really cool, you can kind of see the grid fins as they rotate to help guide the vehicle back to its landing zone, which again today is a shortfall of gravitas waiting for this booster in the Atlantic Ocean. We're just under a minute away from the landing burn beginning on the first stage. Again, have some incredible views.
Stage 1 is transonic.
This is a view of the aft end of the second stage looking at the MVAC engine. So we are going to have landing burn coming up on first stage. That'll last about 20 seconds long, and right when landing burn ends, we should have SECO 1, or second engine cutoff 1, on second stage.
Stage 1 landing burn startup.
There's that call out that the landing burn has begun on first stage. And it looks like we have a live view
Stage
of the
1
drone
landing
ship.
leg deploy. Stage 1 landing is deployed.
And we have touchdown of Falcon 9. And through the cheering, we also heard that call out for SECO 1, which is great news. Our booster landing today marks our 101st overall successful recovery of a first stage and 134th successful flight of a Falcon 9 first stage. We also heard nominal orbital insertion for stage 2. So with that call out, next up,
loss of signal to Cape.